what reparations would you want?
Reparations actually begin with an acknowledgement of the historical injustices by way of chattel, colonial and neo-colonial enslavement. And therefore, one of the things that we are calling for is an all-party parliamentary commission of inquiry for truth and reparatory justice to explore the impact of this history on our present.
And what do you think of the offer of a prison?
The offer of a prison is ludicrous. In fact, prisons were developed as part of the penal system to keep enslaved Africans subjugated. And so this is really a relic of colonialism.
And Peter Bone, it's a pretty crass thing to go and do, isn't it? I mean, popular in Britain to get rid of villains, but...
Well, it's not popular to build. It's not popular to build a prison in Jamaica at taxpayers' expense. Look, people have come over from Jamaica. Some of them have done things that are very bad, violence and drugs. They're in prison. They should be sent back to Jamaica. But there's no question that taxpayers should provide a prison. It's one of the, it wouldn't, whether it's Jamaica or anywhere else. If you do wrong, and you should be sent home. And
but what about the wider point about reparations?
Well, I think that's totally. I mean, that's
colonial.
Yeah, I mean, that is a totally different issue. And I mean, we just put the prisoners just what it is. I think just a mistake. But when we're talking about the Prime Minister's over there promoting goodwill and investing in the infrastructure of Jamaica. But when I chaired the all-party group on human trafficking, against modern-day slavery, there are more slaves today than there were at the time of Wilberforce. And what we should be doing is ending that slavery. And, of course, the Prime Minister has led. We have a modern-day slavery bill. And I think that's what we should be looking to the future, not worrying about the past.
But what's happening in terms of who has influence there? I mean, if you look at the difference between the way Britain is behaving and the way China is behaving in Jamaica, does Britain really have any influence there?
Yes, Britain has huge influence. Many of the institutions, the fact that we still have Queen Elizabeth II as the head, the fact that we still follow the Westminster parliamentary model, the education system is still built on colonial education. So Britain has a huge influence politically and economically. And a lot of British companies are in the region and are the ones who are really going to benefit from many of these packages.
Doesn't that precisely place more responsibility on David Cameron to do a little bit more, to think a bit bigger?
Well, I think he is, but I think the idea of reparations is wrong. I mean, I know that there's a group of MPs out in Jamaica at the moment, and there's a lot of close contact between the two countries. But
why is it wrong? I mean, you just gloss over that very quickly. I mean, this is a country that wouldn't exist as it is were it not for Britain's past behaviour.
But I don't think we should be looking backwards hundreds of years. We should be looking to the problems we have now, which the Prime Minister is addressing. And on the question of slavery, we should be doing a lot more to end this evil. And let's face it, slavery is worse today than it was 100 years ago.
I beg to differ. We are the descendants of the enslaved, and it's quite clear that you're quite ignorant about our condition today. There have been 2 reparations marches that have been taken place in Britain, in London, from Brixton to the Houses of Parliament on the 1st of August. This has been ignored because they want to actually deny that there is a reparations movement. Well, we exist, and we intend for our voices to be heard.
Peter Bone?
Well, and if you're saying, was slavery a bad thing and was it terrible? Of course, but everyone accepts that. Surely what we should be addressing now, as the Prime Minister is the problems Jamaica have with infrastructure and development, and that's what we're doing. We shouldn't be... I just don't see what the advantage is of what you're saying. And I've not
Just in 10 seconds, Esther, if you will.
When you have a Prime Minister whose family benefited in compensation, and you have...
Really?
what do you mean, really?
I mean, that is the most extreme argument.
It is not an extreme argument.
If that's what you're basing on it, you're ruining your arm.
Of our humanity. And this is it's ludicrous.
I think you're living in the past. We need to live in the future.
We're talking about contemporary legacy.
I'm very sad to say we're out of time, because we could obviously go on, but thank you both very much indeed.